Yeah. There we are.
I spent 30 years in basically remodeling and home building, but she's been doing it for a long, long time.
Oh, wow.
Very good at it. Very good at it.
Yeah, you know, in this world, you can do, maybe we can't do all and everything, but we can sure do a whole lot.
That's right. Yeah. And there's something I've learned from her too, just the energy, the clearing of the energy when you're remodeling something or even cleaning.
Oh, completely.
We are live. I just want to warn you. So,
We'll talk about construction first. Constructions of our lives, our spiritual lives. That's what we started.
There you go. I'm going to pull up the show on my phone, which is my normal routine, share it to a Soulogy group pages and then a few affiliated groups, and then let people roll in. And then we'll roll the show out in a couple of 2-3 minutes. How's that? Is that all right?
That's fine. Take your time. We'll get here going. And you're going to your page of, it's live on Soulogy or it's live on Todd Medina?
Todd Medina, yeah. We do that to stay above the algorithms as best we can. We tried it on the Soulogy page for a while, and they kept clamping us down. And we tried in the Soulogy group, they clamped us down immediately. And so
it's crazy. That and YouTube has been doing that a lot as well.
Yeah, this we've been doing it from this page, I guess, for over a year now, probably the last 800 episodes. But YouTube, yeah, we got hit on. We got one strike on YouTube. So we just keep plugging away and assert our incredible pure intentions and unconditional love onto the energetic patterns of whatever this is that we're contributing to. That's how we integrate with it. We don't fight it, but we're thankful for it. You know?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, there's a yin and yang to everything, right?
There is. You are right. I'm following suit, and everybody, we are sending the invites out.
Yeah.
To get you online. That's beautiful.
Yeah, there's a yin and yang to
if I can.
Yeah, even to this day, it's always strange hearing your voice.
Yeah, right.
I remember when I was a little kid, and you'd have like those old cassette recorders, those old dictaphones, and you play. Little kids, you know, me and my brothers and sisters, and we would play it, and then we'd hear our voice, and we're like, oh, that's not me. And then they came out with answering machines, and even at all the productions of I've been involved with, and you hear yourself. It's one thing to look at yourself, but to hear yourself, it just makes it worse. You know,
completely different, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Okay, let's see. Let me just say some quick hellos to everybody. We've got 29 people in the house. We're going to have a special show. It's a very special show. We'll all find out over the next hour. Hello, Shanine, Van Rion. If you haven't checked out the Freedom Network, it's a beautiful, expanding, broadcasting network that channel that she's putting together. Pia Holland, Lara West, Lisa Mon, Monica D. Benware. She was on a couple of weeks ago. She's one of the coordinators of Waves of Light Conscious Conference, who are a beautiful guest, and myself and Morgan will be some of the collaborators in January 17th through 19th. I just put a post up on all the Soulogy pages. Please check it out. We're very honored to be a part of it. Bev Church and Michelle Owen, Julia Weiss, Jenny Smith always comes in with her incredible quotes and comments. Cricket Holden, Mary Cooper, Chris Hall, Barbara Darling, Terry Willette. Still going to get you on. I got a short list to give to Morgan. You're on that list, and I haven't given it to her. So, Amanda, yeah, that's why everyone knows. Don't contact me to come on because I'm very slow about getting around to it. Morgan's a producer. I just show up and do what I do. Now, Amanda Crystalline, Evan Marino, the topic, I'll get into that in a minute. I'm going to read a short bio before we roll the show out. Julie Thomas, Lee Hendrickson from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and Katarina Tutokova, and Victoria Nyquist. And thank you all for your continued love and support and contributions to keep us going by the seat of our pants every day. And that's not a complaint. That is gratitude. And also thank you for sharing because it keeps us above the algorithms on Facebook, and we don't get a lot of help with notifications. But it's all working good. It's all working good because everyone that's involved. And again, we really appreciate it. I want to formally introduce our beautiful guest here. I will include her bio in the video. It is in the post announcing it. So everybody, get ready for an incredible show. An unconventional healer. Our guest on SOULSPEAKS 5D today is Jessica Sanchez Romo, MD. She's an international speaker and channel, celebrated for her unique blend of healing skills and gifts. Many spiritually curious people are attending Jessica's workshops to reprogram unconscious beliefs and reawaken their innate intuition. Her comprehensive skill is defined by her grounded approach to dissolving the divide between the material and metaphysical and unlocking the mysticism and manifestation and quantum healing. Often, even in single sessions, can equate to years of traditional therapy and helping people make lifetime of change through psychological processes, channeled lessons, and somatic healing. Jessica's direct experience touching people as a medium and channeled messages from higher consciousness that she's translated into unique formulas and tools to empower people to live at their fullest expression with humor and relatability. Jessica has an unparalleled gift of taking deep, intense work and making it social, aspirational, and highly engaging. There's another paragraph on who might benefit from the energy work that Jessica does. You guys are welcome to read it. We're going to talk about it and it's several other things. Let me just welcome you formally, Jessica, to the show. Thank you for coming and honoring us with your presence and sharing space with us today on SOULSPEAKS 5D.
It's beautiful to be here, and more so it's beautiful to be with everyone watching us live and everyone that's going to be watching later and being a part of this. So I thank you, Todd. I thank you very much for holding the space and having this beautiful, amazing program for all of us to be a part of, and you bringing everyone's light forward so that we can all connect a lot better as well.
Yeah, reading you're very welcome, and thank you for the kind words. Your bio reads, it resonates a lot. You know, I'm partnered up with someone who speaks the same language you do, and I can read between the lines, and it's a very interesting combination that you're actually in the 3D and MD, but you also, I can tell, you know, you're a you know, what we consider a real vocation now, which is energy worker, energy practitioner. So that's an interesting combination. I think we have another lady coming on, I think next Saturday that is also an MD who also does this type of work. Maybe not exactly the same thing, but it's a fresh combination. And I'm looking forward to seeing what her story is and what your story is. I like to ask people when they first come on, were you always awake, or did you have a wake-up experience?
Okay. I feel very blessed to say I was always awake.
Yeah.
Thankfully. But that being said as well, I did have my human experiences that brought the interference into my awakeness.
Yeah.
That's the way I kind of like to explain it, which is natural, right?
Yeah.
I was kind of like awake and, hey, I thought everyone saw these angels and spoke to these spirits and kind of could feel things from other planes and parallel areas. But then as you come into it, you start to see, well, maybe not everyone's getting this. Am I not getting this, or is there something wrong? And then, of course, we can also become very muted in life along as we become part of society and we start into the norm, which there's nothing wrong with being part of the norm, because it's also what we chose to be part of and our lessons and everything else, that as we have our reawakenings or as we have our strengths and our lessons that get learned, it makes everything else a lot stronger.
Yeah.
So it's definitely been something that has been a fabulous process, and I love it and I appreciate it. Something I feel gifted to share with others, because a lot of us are silent with what we do, and there is nothing wrong with any of you that are out there, very awake, very gifted, and staying silent with what you do and how you're doing it. We need you doing everything you're doing as well behind closed doors, because you help make all of us shine and rise together. So yeah, there's definitely a place for all of us in our process.
All right, if your voice changes a little bit, you sound just like me. But yeah, a couple of observations. One is, yeah, I love the way you describe that. A lot of people come on and pretty much say the same thing. They use different words, and they'll say, you know, I woke up this way. It was always this way. I thought everybody was this way. And then I got out of high school, got married, got a 3D job, education, the whole 9 yards, and kind of went to sleep. And then I came back in the door. Now, I think yours is a really interesting perspective, because you went to school. You had to have gone to school for a number of years, and that is the educational system is a very it's a very matrix oriented system. I mean, it's a very kind of cut and dry, rules, and all that stuff. Were you able to carry your energetic higher sensitivity throughout your educational years, or did you get dogma downed a little bit?
Yes to both answers, right? I think there's times we get dog down, and there's times that we're carrying it through, and sometimes we're carrying it through to such a higher level that the other part comes unbalanced or unstable. Yeah. Well, gosh, how come I didn't get the grade I really wanted to get in that? And maybe you're going further into what you're doing that you're missing the basis of what you should be answering for the norm, right? So you're kind of, that can happen as well along the way, where it's kind of the opposite. We usually kind of think about the part of where it dummies us down on our spirituality, because we're stuck on the matrix doing what we need to be doing. But at the same time, actually, it can be the opposite way around as well, where we might be a little bit past where we're supposed to be in this matrix and in our educational level or our job or whatever we're supposed to be doing, and we kind of miss that plane and that playing field because we're seeing past that wall. Yeah, so
that's a good point. That's a good point. And sometimes, we got to get reeled back in. Yeah. I didn't say dumb down. I said dogma down. I'm sorry about that.
But I like to say, because people say I felt like I dummied down. Because sometimes you feel like you're so advanced in something, and then you feel like you dummy down. And I like to say it feels like we get numb. We become numb, or like you said, we go into a sleep process, and I call it a hibernation process. So sometimes we go into that little bit of a hibernation process.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure you didn't think I was disrespectful, but I totally get what you're saying.
Oh, no, not at all. That was my word, not yours.
but I totally get what you're saying, and I have done it, and I know Morgan and I have talked about it in her life. Many people that I've talked to, it's almost like, Morgan and I talk and say, when I was a kid, I always win games. Like I always knew the answer or whatever, and you dumb it down because it's so easy. But it looks like the realm is clearing up. There's less distortion. We can get into that in a second. I wanted to ask you, I'm sure you must have gone into your profession with the, in alignment with the frequency of what you already knew, from your higher sensitivity and so on. Did you go into a traditional workflow for a while and then kind of transform into what you're doing now? Do you still do both, or how does that all work?
No, right when I was going to be come back to the U.S. to get licensed in the U.S., because I started a medical school, I didn't want to go with the norm, and I already knew I did not want to go to medical school in the U.S. My father's a physician. He's an amazing physician. He's an amazing healer. He's so gifted, and he already knows people, sees people, and God speaks right through him, knowing a lot of what's going on with them. So I was exposed to things in so much of a different way. And medicine, when I was being raised up, was a lot different, where it was a lot more hands-on versus what it transformed into when I was going to go to school. So I had a beautiful friend of ours who was an ear, nose, and throat specialist from Budapest, Hungary area. And he was practicing here in New Mexico. And he was kind of my doorway as I was looking at places out of the country. And I didn't know if I was accepted or not. I got a ticket. I happened to have my passport, and I took my entrance exams there and started medical school. And my grandmother passed away, was going to pass away with cancer. So I came home to help take care of her through her passing. I was single, no children, didn't have to I could put my life on pause, my typical matrix life on pause, right? That three-dimensional life, to come help her and be with her. You know, I'm Hispanic. We raise families, we help families, we all live together, and it's the spirit and the essence. So that was part of my lessons in healing as well and giving. So I went to Mexico because it would be closer. Went to Guadalajara and I graduated, finished everything there at the Autónoma. It's a lot of hands-on. And when I was coming back to the US, you do hands-on since the first year, delivering babies and everything else, where you're not really doing that, practicing that format in the US. So you have both the knowledge base as well as the practicorium. And it's a beautiful, beautiful experience. But I decided when I was coming back, I saw affirmative care was going to come into action. I had already been in 2 socialized countries. It's not even about political views. I actually read affirmative care and I saw the agendas behind where patients would not be able to receive the health care that they deserve, medications they deserve, and providers, healthcare providers were going to be limited. And I could just feel this volcano erupting emotionally inside of me. And I just knew I would not be able to be the physician I was called to be to help people. And that was really like, God was just like, Jessica, this is not for you in this format, right? And that really, and it took me a while. I had to go through my own emotional turmoil. And as we were talking at the beginning, my father being a physician, my brother was going to go in that avenue and field. We come from a very grounded farming, ranching background as well. Very united family, very spiritual family. And I was thinking, how can I not serve my community?
Right.
How could I not serve my people? How can I turn away from this? And then it became very clear, you're still going to be using your gifts. You're still going to be using hands-on healing. You're just going to be doing it from the spiritual format versus the actual Western-based scientific medicine point. So that was kind of that aha moment. We can put the shingle out. And then I was led to the right people in my life that assisted me in making sure I had my correct spiritual steps to get where I needed to be doing to service others in a new, beautiful format.
Wow.
So yeah, it was,
that's
and you know, yeah, completely go with the flow, completely go with the flow.
Well,
And as I was in flow, everything else came into line, you know. When I was getting off and getting ready to go speak in India and doing the healing and having my clients, here comes my husband into my life, you know, and you just trust and it all just starts flowing because you are in flow. You are in flow. And everything just happened. Boom, 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 boom. Even, you know, the conference that we're doing with Waves of Light, that we're doing the conference, finding you to be one of our amazing speakers and Morgan to be a part of it. It's just flow. It's completely flow. And us all being here and sharing with everyone else that's watching live or will watch us later. Complete flow.
Yeah, and there's a big wave building. It's more and more people are following their guidance and stepping out. And seeing that reciprocity from the universe, which is becoming very palpable. You know, there's a lot more evidence of it. It's not so much, you know, oh, that's a coincidence, or we can explain that away. There's more and more people really shining and expanding like yourself, and that's a powerful thing because.
Even the scientists, like you're talking about, scientists are even proving through science what we're talking about energetically and spiritually. They're showing that same protons and neutrons that bounce through you and I here. Well, I'm in New Mexico, you're in Hawaii, but instantaneously are on the other side of the planet. And can we not say we're all connected? They're showing how DNA, one strand of DNA, if you take it out, you know how far you can get with it. If you take all of our DNA, with one DNA, you can wrap it around the world. And if you take all of our DNA within our body, you can stretch it across the universe. How in the world can we say that we are not all simultaneously connected at one moment in time?
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm curious, you know, a lot of the people that come on this show in 1,200 episodes, in their stories, there are a lot of characteristics that are very similar. And one of them is estrangement from family. You know, I'm Latin, I'm Mexican, I grew up in South Texas, big Mexican family on my dad's side and a Spanish family on my mother's side. And so I understand that La Familia. You know, I understand
Yeah.
the culture. But like most of the people that come on the show, I was the white sheep. I refer to it as a white sheep, not the black sheep.
Yeah.
But anyway, it sounds like in your case, number one, you have a very spiritual family, which I would have to think, even though you're in a portal-ridden area. So I would think that's, and having been there a little bit, like I told you, I would think there's a little bit of progressiveness there. But I also know the Latin culture, the Mexican culture. It's very Catholic, and even sometimes other types of Western religious, Christian sects or whatever. But it can be very, very, embedded in the old conditioning and programming. So I find that really interesting. Your family's very spiritual. You seem to be very much in balance. It's obviously created a very strong foundation for you. Are you much different in terms of the nomenclature that you use and the things that you do? I mean, I'm not saying you use crystals and you talk to divine essences and this and that. Are you more or less traditional than most of the mainstream light workers, and therefore different than your family's spiritual beliefs?
So I think part of the beautiful thing that I'm able to do is I'm able to incorporate, yes, I was raised Catholic, Hispanic both sides, where the Spaniards that came, settled here in New Mexico, never left. It was landlocked by desert. Mexico didn't want to be a part of it. United States, when it became part of the United States, didn't want to be a part of it until they were going to build the atomic bomb, because we very much kept to ourselves. But yes, we have those strong. So it was mostly like Native American strong rituals and traditions, and old Spanish Catholic traditions, which are very similar in the way they mix and merge. And so through that also brings you into a whole new spiritual world that might not be the norm of other areas around. I am still Catholic. I still go to church. It is not, my priests know, my pastors know, it's not the only way that I see this world. It is not the only way I understand it to be. And actually, through it all, there is no fear of it. And so that's something I've been able to assist people in understanding. When you work with crystals, it's really not a scary thing.
No.
This amethyst was placed here on the earth by the divine, whether you want to call it God, Buddha, spirit, universe, however we want to do it, Mother Nature, it was placed here and it has its metaphysical properties, and we need to honor that. But it's through that divine that those energies are working. And it's through our own divine universe within us that they all work. And when we honor that, everything works in flow. And we need to understand that truth has come through the time of man and women, however you want to say it, humanness, that through that time, the truth has come in different ways, in different formats. And us men, women, have taken the truth and we have distorted it in our own way and in our own factor. And so when I work with people who are Hindu, it's something I honor. It's something I respect. I've had my own past life regressions. I have seen myself since I was born in different time eras, in Egyptian times. So that also has given me an understanding and a respect. If you think about it, so many people in certain faiths might talk negatively about maybe Egyptian. They say they have many gods and you should only have one God. But all of their gods still bow down to one God, which is God Ra, which is sun God, which we talk about light, which in other religions. So we can look at there's more similarities amongst religions than there are differences. It's what are you allowing to happen in here?
Yeah.
And I choose to look for the peace, the light, and the love and the unity. Yeah. And that is how I assist other people, Catholic, Christian, agnostic, atheist, to come into their own being of spirituality, belief of self, however it works for them. And I'm very open to that because I'm not called to sit here and try to preach one thing or the other or how I do it. I'm here to assist them in their format that works best for them. Absolutely. So I think when we can take ourselves out, it doesn't matter what we do or how we do it. And what I was raised in, like you as well, in the Catholic Christian religion, it has also shown me why there was an importance for water in clearing and cleansings. We think of baptism, but it's actually something we can do with our universe of ourself, of our holiness within, to ask that water be holy or positively energized to clear and cleanse our bodies. It's not just to wash our bodies off in the dirt, it's to spiritually wash ourselves, right? It's to spiritually wash certain things. The rain comes, it does it for us. And so when we can bring all those in to incorporate it, we can also take it into a cellular level within our body as well.
Absolutely. And
You know,
we can inject it with our intentions as well, which is what we do. Yeah, what we do in a prayer or meditation or
yes.
mantra.
And that's the whole thing. Yeah, rosaries are basically praying beads, Buddha, you know, if you're a Buddhist, praying beads, it's a form of meditation, it's a form of prayer. So I always say, whatever terminology works for you, let's go with that, let's flow with that, and let's get it so that you can be the strongest you and lighted you that you deserve to be for yourself first, and then for all the rest of us connected.
Well,
so it's
a
beautiful thing.
Yeah, and then, yeah, absolutely, and I can relate. You know, I mean, there is no doubt that probably the strongest spiritual mentor example that I was able to do was my grandmother on my dad's side.
Oh yeah,
and she would walk up and down the hallway with the rosary beads for 3-4 hours in the middle of the night, and the interesting thing is when I first, I guess, reawoke 8 years ago and started seeing on the other side of the veil, primarily disincarnated souls, you know, past souls. Some I knew, some I didn't. The first one that came to me was her.
yeah.
And she's returned a few times actually. Yeah. So there's no question about it. Even in this early stuff that I wrote, you know, that I was directed to write, it all said, you know, all religions are the same. They have a common thread. And simple, basic stuff, you know, like the golden rule, you know, that type of stuff. But there's no doubt. Yours is an interesting mix because that area does have a lot of different dynamics in it.
Completely. We have curanderas, you know, it was part of our culture, it's part of our history. It used to be something that was beautiful. It used to be something you embraced. Then through publicity, through times, through different eras, it was like, shh, don't say nothing. You don't want to admit to that. It's scary. Or, you know, the same thing as can be compared to witchcraft and black magic, but it really wasn't. It was beautiful. It's beautiful healing. There was midwives instead of doctors because it's in the middle of the desert. There was not doctors around. So there was a whole beautiful history, and my grandmothers were that way. They have natural remedios, natural remedies that you use, that you would utilize. And so it's beautiful though that the world, we're shifting back to that, and we're going back to Mother Nature. We're going back to understanding we have a lot of healing within. We have a lot of things that we can do, and we can heal ourselves within and assist others in that process. So it's beautiful. I'm just so honored to be part of that movement, right? In my own way, in my own format, and bringing that awareness out and saying like, hey, you don't have to be afraid of being in a religion, a race, a gender, a ethnic group. You don't have to be afraid not being a part of one. We can actually associate it all, bring it together, and be a much brighter, each one of us, right? And just help the world in so many beautiful ways and the universe.
Absolutely. It's all under one tent. It's all inclusive, even if you don't want to be there. It's all the same. So and you're also in an interesting area. I spent some time in Utah, like I said, in my past corporate life. Spent a lot of time in Arizona, New Mexico, that Four Corners. I was at Sedona for a few weeks last year. Yeah. So I've watched funny things in the sky in some of those areas. And again, you're in a very interesting place with a lot of dynamics. Plus your upbringing, your cultural, what a beautiful mix. The family part of it. Do you have any affinity or any communication on a galactic scale, like any star family that you identify with or anything like that? Because I know some of the indigenous directly speak of that and that type of thing.
Yeah, so around here, you know, when I was little, things would happen and you would see it, you would understand it, but then you were supposed to be silent about it, right? In these areas, going back to the same fears and anxieties that we were talking about, that humans, we imposed upon ourselves. But most definitely, I have had my own experiences, my own awareness of that, my own contact. There are many guardians and guides that I work with, that they are here to assist me as well and show me certain things that I am doing when I am working on somebody physically in person, or how we are virtually working with my clients in Europe, India, other places around the world. It is something that I honor and I cherish, because I also have done things in a protected way. Coming from the backgrounds we were talking about, it was very important. You always understood to have prayer, protection, light around you. And I was able to incorporate it and take it to my new next level and understand, you know, have your guardian angels, have your guardians, have everything around you. And some of those are these beings. And they are here to assist and guard and be part of us and assist us on our journey and show us certain things in certain ways and formats that we have not yet tuned in to hear.
Yeah.
And so for me, doing psychic surgery, as they call it, or ethereal surgery, when I'm working on somebody's ethereal body and doing my clearings and cleansings and working on them, if I am seeing something or an implant that has been placed, I also will have those guides assisting me in knowing which implants need to remain because they're good and they have a purpose and they have a reason, or what needs to be removed, or what needs to be updated, right? It's just like our computers. We update with new software, or our phones, we update with new software. We get our updates too, right? So
I totally get what you're saying. I'm just curious because I really feel like, you know, in the chair that I sit in, through the evolution of the whole thing, is I've realized that our most powerful transmissions, downloads, and channelings come from these conversations. Because the truth is just the truth. Everybody's got their own truth, the way they see it. It's not about right or wrong. It's about, this is my experience. This is what's happening. That's full of codes, in my opinion. And you have such an interesting mix of dynamics that I enjoy probing this type of thing. So on to the next one. With that mix that you have, that incredible mix, I'm just curious, do you see these aspects that work with you and through you as part of you? Are they separate from you, or somewhere in the middle? How does that work?
You just put too many rules and definitions on me.
I like that. That's perfect.
About sense of humor. I mean, like, seriously though, I mean, we're joking, but at the same time, yes, and yes, you know.
Yeah, you're right.
They work with me, they work through me, they can be separate from me, and it's all, what I like to say, it's what it's supposed to be when it's supposed to be. So yes, you know, like a friend always taught me, it's like a light switch. You have your giant on button and off button, right? But you can turn the switch on, you can turn it off. But at the same time, I have done it in a format where I say, okay, when the switch needs to be turned on, which is pretty much all the time in life, right?
Yeah.
Turn it on for me. You know, you think about it, okay, I might have a client coming over to the house, or I might be visiting with them on Zoom. I need to turn on my switch. So we think about it, but then you just took it into a professional mode all the time, and you took the experience of life out, and we're not learning our lessons of life. So now I say, please put the filter that needs to be on it for me, so that I don't have to allow my conscious mind to filter what I should or should not be doing, and I don't get in the way of it. Because I think that's the difference. And that's where I say, yes, it can act in me, through me, with me, because yes, it is part of me. Yes, it is something else acting through me, because I've chosen to allow myself to be the channel. And that's where it can also be a separate apart for me. So that what's not supposed to be for me, if I'm working with you, for instance, or somebody else, and it's for their highest good, their highest purpose, and it's protected, but it's not supposed to be in me or with me or through me, then it's completely a separate part.
Gotcha.
So yes to all of the above. No limitations.
Multiplicity at its best. Now, do you work with people online as well, or just in their physical presence?
No, I do both. I do virtual work just like we are on Zoom. So some of my clients, obviously, they're in other countries, other states, even in the same state, but time just does not allow us to meet up. So we will, not time necessarily, but space and time for their schedules. So meet virtually, and what I'm feeling, what they're feeling in their body, a lot of times I can feel in mine. I can feel physical ailments going on within them, see certain things. Everything works the same whether I'm in their physical presence or they're in my physical presence, vice versa, or we are virtually or on the phone as well.
Yeah.
So
you're open. You're open to people from the live or the replay reaching out to you.
Yes. Yes.
Very cool.
Yeah, completely. So I work with people virtually in many different formats. We have some webinars coming up as well. Love doing webinars that allows people to do things in groups and bring our light together in a stronger format, in a stronger way. So there's webinars I do one-on-one type of healing and packages. And then we have conferences that I collaborate with people, like we're doing the Waves of Light in January in Sarasota. And then my friend Jeremy, who will be in Sarasota as well, we're doing a retreat here in New Mexico next year, a live hands-on.
I've known Jeremy for quite some time. I came off the streets in 2013, and I probably met him in summer 2013. I probably met him around that time.
Isn't he just an amazing soul?
Yeah.
He's just fabulous. So I feel gifted that he's a great friend of mine and in my life, and we've decided we're going to collaborate and do a retreat here in New Mexico next year. So
that's awesome. That's very
definitely.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm curious as with your wide and varied pedigree, and I say that with the utmost respect. What's the most powerful divine episode you've ever had? Or maybe one of them. I have a feeling there's quite a few.
A friend of mine, Dr. Trevor Speller, and I are going to be doing an interview, live webinar coming up with your Detoxify Your Life. And we were talking about this. And I've had many, so it's kind of difficult to kind of just isolate one. I can say I've been in some car accidents that I should have been dead. Or even another one, I had a crazy fall in the shower and I should have been dead, paraplegic or quadriplegic. Had to do physical rehab and different things as well. And now I'm walking, I'm running, I'm doing things that I shouldn't have been doing. So those are beautiful healing. Going to medical school in Mexico, I developed allergy-induced asthma. Been around my grandfather who was a smoker, never had any problems or issues, but now you could just have me around a cigarette, somebody walking by, going into Walmart, and I'd start having an asthma attack. And now I am able to go to casinos and not stroke out because of the healing. So those are beautiful miracles, call it whatever you want to call it, healing energy. But I would really say that some of the most amazing things that I still remember are when I have, whether you want to call it time traveled, transported, people considered in their dreams, past life regressions, but those experiences that I've had being in what we call heaven, universe, with the divine, I think those are some of my most amazing ones, as well as that traveling with the other type of, how we said, experiences of traveling different parts of the universe, being there, seeing it, feeling it. I think those are the most memorable and the most illuminating, right? And the most exciting, because they were always with beautiful light and purity and strength around them, and such a peacefulness that we all have and we all deserve to have. And so as I'm here, that's what I strive to try to build in my everyday life. It doesn't matter if I'm having a poopy day, I just stop and say, wait a second, is it really poopy? There can be a lot worse things going on.
That's a Spanish word, by the way. That's all I ever heard when I was a little boy.
Well, it's just to not say other words. But,
I know. No, I get what you're saying, and you're right too. I mean, anyone that's had what people call a near-death experience or some of the experience you're talking about, with that light, it's that whole thing. Like when you're leaving, you're leaving, and you're like, hey, well, I don't want to go.
Yeah.
I love it here. You know, it's such a, yeah, that's
Well, the beautiful thing is that anytime I've ever had where like, it's not that I don't want to go, it's more like I was fine being back, or I was fine being here because I knew what I was supposed to be doing and I was holding that here. So I never left. It's still right here. It's here in my little universe.
Absolutely.
So because it's here in my universe, like my husband tells me, he goes, you're just the happiest person I know. Mind you, my husband is a former Marine, and he was kind enough to continue to serve through being a police officer.
Wow.
And retired as a lieutenant, and now he'll be heading back in to work for the city of Albuquerque as a deputy director for municipal development. And so he's had this long career of service, and he has seen the darkest of the dark, the most evil of evil, the worst of the worst. Yeah. We've been together, and it's been such a beautiful learning experience, even for me, to share our lives together and be that twin flame that's been together, that those soulmates that came together, that we can just ignite now with all the beautiful things we deserve in life. And I'm so excited because I've been hearing so many stories of so many amazing people coming together like that and having that happen in their life. But he's like, you're just the happiest person I know. It doesn't matter what happens. You can slam your foot in the door. You know, I have a fingernail that's coming off. I slammed it the other day, and he's like, you'll just say ow real quick. And then you're like, okay, let's go on with life. Because of what we're talking about, it's how we choose to look at things. And I bring that beauty and that universe. And I just say, okay, I know what we're supposed to be doing. I'm just going to give gratitude. I'm going to give appreciation to everything around me. And I give gratitude for all the beauty still continuing in my life. So calling it in.
Let me just quickly announce to everybody, for the last 7 or 8 days, the last 20, 25 episodes, a lot of people are getting kicked off. The signals, I'm not sure what it is. It's energy. It's all energy, right? So a lot of people getting kicked off Facebook. The link to Zoom is on the post and in the comments. If you want to come into the Zoom room, you won't get kicked off. But until further notice, we'll continue doing it this way. We just have to work with the energy the best we can. You know, I was going to ask you, a couple of things. One, what was it like being awake and having the journey that you had, and then starting to see this collective expansion, this collective awakening start to take gain some traction and really start to take off? Was that something that came as a surprise to you in your life as it was happening?
I think it's something that is where it feels like, gosh, it's about time. I've been waiting. It's something actually that I've been expecting, and I knew it was coming, and it's like right around the corner. And so a lot of us have been on the same path of saying, okay, what have my roadblocks been that have prevented me from going past this point? And now we're starting to like break through the roadblocks, those cement barriers that are borders for us. We are driving right through them in our own armored car now. And we don't have things holding us back. And what does hold us back doesn't have the same pull it had prior. We've had so many astrological things going on that are assisting with those shifts, assisting with those powers, and Mother Earth is just trying to assist us in every which way that she can to open up and push us in that format. So I think I'm not surprised by it. It's something I've been waiting for, and it feels like a relief. Does that make sense?
Oh, I get it.
Since like I told you, coming into this world and I remember being at my grandmother's house and 2 or 3 years old, and we're talking. And so I couldn't have been 3 or 4 at the oldest. And my sister was 2 or 3 right behind me. And you're talking about the angels, or you're talking about the lights you see in different things. And that whole thing of knowing everyone else can see or hear them somehow, some way or format, but yet they're closing down and they're not seeing them. So either now they're scared, or you're being scared because they don't see it, or something else. But you're like, wait a second, I know I've been told everyone can So it's that whole relief of like,
Yeah.
here it is, you
Kind
know.
of like the Shutter Island frequency, where everyone tells you one thing and you're saying no, it's not that way. But yeah, no, I think a lot of us can relate to that. What about your? You mentioned your relationship. I mean, that's a powerful component, if not the core component, it seems, in the physical manifestation of what's happening internally in the non-physical with this, however you want to put it. But these couplings seem to be a very, very powerful component in this transition, in this awakening that we call ascension, apocalypse, unveiling. And then with the description that you've given us of your husband, that's a very rooted in the order and the organizational part of it. Does he ever feel like he's married to Samantha on Bewitched?
Hold on, let me go get him. I'll call him.
we would love to have you both on sometime if he's open to it. I think it would be
I'll definitely talk to him about it and see if he'd be open to it.
I mean, but does he do crystals, and does he, or is it, because I talked to some couples and some of them, and it's always this way. She's the transmitter, and he can be a variance. But we've talked to some people. I had one on yesterday, a young bicultural 25-year-old woman, Latin woman, Caribbean, in New York City, and she said, and she met her partner. He came to her in a dream, and it all has taken off. And I assumed, and that just made me an idiot, but I assumed that he was like locked in with her, step by step, crystals, this, that. She said, "Oh no, he's not spiritual at all, but he gets it at some level, and we just click." What's your situation like? I'm just curious.
I'm very lucky that I do have a husband who supports me and supports what I do, and he gets it. I think he has his comfort levels with it as well. But my husband's a huge warrior. It is not by chance that he became a Marine and then he became a police officer and went through his whole entire career and even climbed the ladder to a lieutenant. And now he's still going. He went back and is a recruiter with an Albuquerque Police Department. And what I say is he's recruiting light workers into the police department. That is totally what he is doing. And then now going into municipal development with the city to be able to bring that energy in there. Wow. He understands what I'm doing. He is gifted. He has many people that he reaches out with, and he is just channels beautiful, 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 beautiful strength to them. He channels beautiful light to them, all in his own words and in his own way. And he knows it, he sees it, and his friends know it. People identify it. So I think though, yes, sometimes I think he does say you're Samantha from Bewitched, joking, but like, since you said that, but he also does understand it and know it and believe in it. And he does see the strength. He does see the power. I mean, I knew I was meeting my husband, and I also knew it was somebody I already met, but I just couldn't see who it was or why. And it's okay, because I know that we can't always see everything. We can't always know everything. And I knew he was coming into my life. And then when he was there, it was like, bam, here you are. We had met prior, and for him, he was like, wow, God, why can't I wake up to a woman like this? I would be so happy for the rest of my life. And I said, well, just when you have your complaints, don't you forget that you ask God for it. You ask God for it.
Well, what's interesting
about that, but sure, yeah, relationships, there's differences. Yeah. Sometimes we're night and day. Sometimes I'm more woo-woo, but I am also where I was raised up, drywalling, doing the ground. He likes to say, you know what, you're everything that is, he goes, is best that I love in a female, but you're everything I love in men as guy friends to have, and you're that combination of the both. Yeah. So, being raised up on the farm and ranch and having to know how to give gratitude to the animals that are going to sacrifice their life for you, different things, do some drywall, go pull some weeds, go do this, whatever work we need to do, and then go do what I'm doing in the woo-woo world as well. And that all helps me understand it all from a different world. And being married has been one of the biggest gifts that the Creator could ever give to me, because it allowed me to understand life from a whole new standpoint as well.
Absolutely.
And that is also something that when I am working with other people who are married, in serious relationships, partnerships. It doesn't matter who, it doesn't matter about genders, it doesn't matter about religions or anything of the sorts. It's about this fact of the unity of two energies mixing their vortexes together, and how to allow your vortex to have its own peaceful swing, yet to be your own individual vortexes within. And that is a balance that I have learned to be able to bring into my life. And that's something that my husband has gifted me with by choosing to be my partner, by choosing to be here. And sure, everyone has their ups and downs. It's not ever going to be perfect because we're not the same person. We're not carbon prints. And I don't know that I want another one of me out there anyways. But he has taught me so much through his existence on this planet and on this earth and what he's done. And then I've been able to assist him as well in opening up his spiritually gifted side even more. And he's an amazing healer. He's an amazing light worker. So I just feel honored that we can do this together. He supports me when I go to these conferences. He went to our Waves of Light conference last year. He was there helping out with things, and in the backgrounds, helping people out, you know, as well. So yeah, don't worry, he'll be out here some point soon. I know it's coming.
So yeah, but it's fascinating. Again, another fascinating dynamic. You know, your composite it's like a mosaic. You know. So you have this divine masculine as your partner, who comes out of the same patriarchal that we all kind of come out of, you know. But being in the military, being in law enforcement, very patriarchal, and I can tell without even asking that he has a tremendous respect, love, and reverence for the divine feminine. I would imagine the two of you together are a powerfully energetic couple, even just by your presence. Do you see the effect of your relationship on other people without words?
I do. He has a huge divine feminine within as well, and that's where he has this connection with so many people's heart centers. He is in this divine masculine, huge masculine world, and he is a divine feminine within of his spirit of just all heart. And so he has this huge, amazing respect from everyone he works with. He always works with honor with everyone and has these huge heart connections, and always goes the extra length, the extra bound. If somebody needs something, he goes, he gets it for them, even if it's out of his own pocket, brings it, buys it. And I've even heard all these stories from people as we've been married. You know, this September will be 2 years that we'll be married. But all the people as I've met his colleagues, you hear these stories. So you see it, and I know, you know, obviously from the family and everything else, and high school friends, which they're amazing people that he all went to high school with, and all these souls that are all interconnected. And we have been a part of each other's soul family. So it's beautiful because now his friends and I are all connecting, and we've been soul family and soul sisters. So now he's like, hey, you guys are all together. So I see the effect of our relationship with them and bringing him stronger and closer with his friends and myself as well and united. I see our effects within my own family, because my family is like a nucleus. You know, remember you were talking about Hispanic families. I always like to say, if anyone's seen the movie My Big Fat Greek Wedding, that's my family, except My Big Fat Hispanic Wedding, and my dad. My dad's the one always calling and checking on everyone, saying, come for breakfast, come for breakfast, come for breakfast, come for dinner, come for dinner. So it's this nucleus, but I've also seen how when they might watch our relationship, how we are, and how my husband, it's not that my brothers don't love and respect their wives, but I have also seen the growth as well as we are all together, that my husband's there to be able to support them in certain ways. And I am as well in new formats, and bring them and their wives closer together, or the kids, or different things, or cousins, or other friends. So I do see the changes. And I also learn my lessons as well from all these changes that we assist other people, because then I go back to saying, how do I do that to strengthen, our relationship?
You guys obviously create a powerful vortex. That's what I could see. And I just, I look forward to meeting you both. I think that's going to be awesome. Now,
most definitely.
Yeah, let me just give this over to you before we head out the door. You've already said that you do one-on-one sessions online. That's typically what happens after this show. Is that there's always resonation, I get messages from the guests all the time. People will hit you up. Where do they find you? Do you have any events coming up? If there's any further commentary you'd like to put out there, any advice, anything like that, or anything else you want to say, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Dot. Thanks again to everyone that's been here live. I've been waving to some people. I know you named out a few people prior, but I had a bunch of people that I saw logged on as well. So hello to everyone. Thanks for being here, and everyone else that's been divinely guided to join us. We thank you because you've been sharing your light with us as well. And whatever energy or anything that's resonating from you here that we're assisting you in awakening with your own walk, go out there, do it in your own way and in your own format, because you service us all with your heart and soul by doing that. So I just highly encourage each one of you to do that. If you're like anything that we've been talking about or that's resonating, like and share it, please. And on Facebook with your own social media. For me, ways that you can contact me, you can go to my website. It's enlightenedcircles.com, enlightened with an ED, because we're in the action of being enlightened, and enlightenedcircles.com. Or you can find me on Facebook at Enlightened Circles, as well as personally under Jessica Sanchez Romo. Those are Facebook. There's an Instagram for Enlightened Circles as well. So enlightenedcircles.com. You can email me, Jessica at enlightenedcircles.com. And there's Instagram and Facebook at Enlightened Circles, with Enlightened Circles. So there's plenty of ways to find me if you choose to. I know we were talking about the live conference that we're going to be doing. You already had Monica on, and you're going to be having all the other speakers that will be there. It's going to be in January, Martin Luther King Day weekend, which is the 17th through the 19th of 2020 in Sarasota, Florida. Go on. There's still the early bird special until the end of this month of July. Save yourself some money and book your conference fees, and then book your hotel. We're going to have Todd out there. He's going to be one of our keynote speakers, great and amazing. And it's a project I am so excited to be a part of. We did it last year. We had an amazing time, huge transformations, huge shifts for everyone involved. So come be part of that tsunami of light, not just your wave of light, but the tsunami we all create together. You can find out more webinars that I'll be doing. I'm doing one with a doctor of osteopathic medicine, Trevor Speller. He's from Great Britain. He's actually the doctor for the Wimbledon right now. So we might be having to push back our live webinar as to what we've been doing. In August, I will be doing a webinar with Jeremy, who's also one of the speakers that you've talked about, one of your beautiful friends as well. So we'll be doing that in August. And you can always follow and find more updates on my Facebook as well at enlightenedcircles.com. And you can see videos from when I was speaking in different places like Portugal or other things. If you just want to find more about me, what resonates with you, or private message me, send something out. But I just want to thank everyone again, because every single day, Todd, you and I are linking with more and more people that just creates more and more of that flow. And we all help each other in our own divine ways of what we're supposed to do. And I just want to give gratitude again. I just can't say it. Bring in your light, bring in your protection around you, be protected in everything you do. Ask for it always to be for the highest purpose and highest good, and you will not fail.
Here, here. From the A and Amen to the Z and Zen.
Amen.
Right? Jessica Sanchez Romo. One more, and if you would, Jessica, if you don't mind, any links that you might have, either send them to me or put them in the comments so we can put them in the body of the YouTube when we put it out, and when we go back and edit this one, and then and anywhere else we. You
want me to place them in Facebook, correct? On the Facebook Live link?
Yeah, you can just put them, or you can put them on the. You can send them to me, or you can put them on the comments after the show, after the show's over.
Sounds great. We'll do.
I just want to give another plug too. I just put a post up this morning for the Waves of Light Conscious Conference that she was mentioning, January 17th, 18th, and 19th in Sarasota, Florida. There is an early bird special. I did put the post up on all the Soulogy pages. It's got a picture of the flyer with all the speakers and such. And it has the website. You can go to the website and we can, and a lot of people message us, and obviously support with contributions. Soulogy, we do get contribution from anyone that comes through us by referral. So if you want to help, that's another way to help Soulogy. And Soulogy is all of us. It's a vortex that includes all of us. We talk about it on every show. And I again want to say the same thing she's saying. Thank you for everybody. Keep shining your light, everybody. And we'll be back in an hour with another interesting Divine Feminine to close out the day. You take care, Jessica.
You too, Todd. We'll keep in contact and we'll keep in touch, and everybody else, beautiful light to you wherever you are, whatever time zone and whatever parallel universe you're in.
Thank you. You take care.
Bye.